Afternoon to you. I'm Lisa Broom with the CBC News Break. Police are hunting down 3 men who opened fire on a group of people in the vicinity of Pump It Up Sports Bar in Fords Road, Britain's Hill in the wee hours of yesterday morning. According to police reports, the incident occurred around 12:45 a.m. and 2 men out of that group sustained gunshot wounds. A 48-year-old man was shot in the chest. He was treated at hospital and discharged. Meanwhile, a 21-year-old man was shot in the head. He is in stable condition. 3 people were rushed to the Queen Elizabeth Hospital this morning after being involved in an accident. It occurred at Stirling St. Philip around 4 o'clock. All 3 people were traveling in one vehicle. The fire service responded to the incident with 2 tenders and 6 officers under the command of Station Officer Mervyn Mears. There's been a marginal increase in the unemployment rate in Barbados. The latest data released by the Barbados Statistical Service reveals unemployment for the first quarter of the year stood at 11.8%. That's a 0.3% increase over the last quarter for 2014. A comparison of the consecutive quarters also shows an increase in male unemployment from 10.8 to 12.1%, while for females, joblessness has declined from 12.2 to 11.6%. In the review period, January to March, the number of people employed totaled 127,900, of whom 64,900 were males and 63,000 were females. The total number of unemployed people stood at 17,200, including some 8,000 900 males and 8,200 females. The total labor force stood at 145,100, while those people not actively looking for work, hence excluded from the labor force, totaled 77,300. The Regional Seismic Research Unit is reporting that an earthquake with a magnitude of 3.2 struck Barbados yesterday afternoon. It says, however, there were no immediate reports of injuries or damage. The unit says the tremor occurred at around 3:26 p.m. It said the quake, the latest in a series to hit the island, was located 142 kilometers northeast of the capital at latitude 13.90 degrees north and longitude 58.61 degrees west. It had a depth of 72 kilometers. The quake was 263 kilometers east of Castries, St. Lucia, and 285 east-southeast of Fort-de-France in Martinique. Do not push down any buildings in Queen's Park. That advice from Barbados' ambassador to CARICOM, Robert Bobby Morris, who believes a facelift may be required instead. He's also calling for the park to be the site for the construction of a National Heroes Museum. Ambassador Morris made the suggestions during a recent Democratic Labour Party lunchtime lecture at DLP headquarters.
Build a museum to our national heroes in there, so that although you have the statues outside, inside you can build something that has interactive memory about their lives and what they did and so on for our young people. So there will be a constant memory which now does not exist. There will be a constant memory that children can come and go in there and have interactive exchanges with these great heroes of ours.
There's a new publication aimed at giving Barbadians greater insight into the local credit union movement and its social and financial services history. It's called SUSU, and its publisher is Dalton Medford, who is also the president of the Barbados Workers Union Cooperative Credit Union Limited.
It's a magazine that I feel everyone should try to get hold of, because you have articles, the history of the cooperative movement in Barbados from Robert Bobby Morris, Ambassador Morris, Cecil McCarthy talking about the big issue of a credit union bank. So I'm sure there's a lot of people out there that want to see this, because I know there's one of the hot topics on the league agenda. There is a young BWU member, sixth form student at Harrison College, who wrote about the importance of the cooperative movement. So that is an interesting article that I'm sure people will want. There's also a tribute to the late Sahara Court Lewis in there. So there's a lot of information in there to really sensitize Barbadians about being in the credit union movement.
Mr. Medford says credit unions got their start from the traditional meeting turn, or SUSU, hence the name of the magazine, which will be available free of cost.
It's available at all credit unions, and we will be doing some distribution in Broad Street because we believe that this will allow the credit union movement to grow even bigger than where it is at present. And we really got to reach everybody in Barbados because there is no more bank per se that is locally owned, and we believe that the cooperative movement is the way to go.
Regional and international news next. Stay with us.